Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing a video for you guys about what it's like working at Starbucks. So basically what you have to do is just apply online. If you go in stores, they're most likely going to tell you to apply online. They won't give you like an application. But I do highly recommend going and actually visiting the Starbucks that you want to apply to, and make sure you keep checking in with the manager, because there might be other people that are actually making like an in-person impression on the manager. So I would highly recommend, if you do go and apply, you bring in your resume and like ask to speak to the manager and then introduce yourself, and that way you'll be a lot more memorable than just a name on a computer screen. I got hired like right before everything like happened, the whole pandemic thing. So I got hired and then Starbucks closed for a while, at least the one that I was supposed to work at closed for a while. So I just didn't hear back from the manager for a little while because I didn't know what was going on, and I'm sure like they didn't even know what was going on. So I was just kind of waiting it out at my old job. But when she finally like called me and like told me what was going on, and she gave me like a date that I was going to start, I had my original store that I was supposed to work at, and I did my training there. And the first couple of days, they basically just have you go over like a bunch of modules, but you just watch a video, you answer a couple of questions, and then watch another video, answer another couple of questions. So basically you just go through that, and it'll tell you like the different positions that you will be in. So like if you're going to be working at the drive-thru, or if you're going to be making the coffee, like different things like that, they'll go over with you. And once you get all your modules done, it was like kind of scary because they just like kind of like throw you in there and they're like, all right, now you have to perform what you just watched. And it was kind of different because I got hired during the whole like, you know, pandemic and everything. So we didn't have our lobby opened when I got hired. So customers were not allowed to like come in and sit down and like have their coffee. So one of the positions was solely like checking on customers, making your coffees. And I wasn't able to do that because there was no customers in the lobby. So that position, I kind of just like, she went over, my trainer, you get like your own trainer, by the way, I don't think I mentioned that, but you'll get like your assigned trainer. My trainer was absolutely amazing. I loved her. She was so nice. She didn't make you feel dumb for asking questions, and she went through everything like very thoroughly, and she made sure to go through like every single detail, which is really nice when you're starting off, because I feel like once you worked at a job for a very long time, most people forget what it was like at first. So it's always good to have like a trainer that understands that, and I think she was really good at that. And there's like, I feel like there's just so much to learn. And I don't mean to like scare you guys away from like applying, but I would definitely like be aware that it's going to be a lot of information to take in like the first couple of weeks, if not like the first couple of months. Even though there is a lot to learn, you are going to learn it. You just have to be patient with yourself. So if you're watching this video because you're barely starting, just hang in there, because I know that when I first started, I was just absolutely like bamboozled. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna do this. There's no way I'm gonna learn all of this. There's so much that I just don't know yet. Back to like the training. So after I was trained, they basically walk you through the store, and they're like, this is where this is at, this is where that's at. Like, you learn where everything is at in your store. They'll walk you through, and they'll kind of like give you like an overview of like where you can find different things, what the different positions are. You'll practice in each of those things. I believe it's 2 weeks of training, and then you're done. So when it comes to bar, I felt like for me, barring at first was very, very stressful. It was probably one of the hardest parts because, like I said before, the amount of drinks Starbucks has is just absolutely insane. And not just how big our menu is, but aside from that, how many like customizations are possible, and how much and how often people customize their drinks is just like through the roof. So when you're barring, making the drinks is like so stressful because you feel like you have to go really fast, and you feel like there's so many different drinks. Like, there's no way you're gonna learn all the drinks in one day. Probably not even a week, if I'm being honest with you. Just don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask a lot of questions. And you might have to ask the same question twice because you might not remember. You want to make sure that you're making everything right, even if you have to ask like the same question over and over again. Another thing I highly recommend when it comes to being on bar is that if you do have a question, like say you don't know how to make like an iced salted caramel mocha, and you ask somebody how to do it and they tell you and you make it right away, but then you still are kind of iffy about it and you don't remember how to make it for next time, I would go home and on the Starbucks app, it'll tell you what comes in most drinks. I think most drinks are on there, so if you go on the app and you look at the drink that you like didn't know how to make, so like click on the salted caramel mocha, it'll tell you like how many pumps of syrup go in there, what kind of syrup goes in there, and then it'll tell you like what kind of milk it's made with, if it has whip, if it has no whip, what kind of toppings come on it and everything. So that's how customers are able to like customize it on the Starbucks app, but that really helps you as like a learning barista. So that was something that definitely like 100% helped me when it came to memorizing all of the drinks. I feel like once you know the basic drinks, you're pretty set. For the majority, for the most part, once you learn the basics of your main drinks, it's not going to be that hard. But that's pretty much what bar is. Once you learn how to do it, I promise you it will be a million times better. The next thing I'm going to talk about is drive-thru. This will depend on whether or not your store has a drive-thru, obviously, but being on drive-thru isn't that bad. Honestly, taking the orders at first is going to be a lot. Taking orders on cafe and drive-thru is going to be a lot. When you first start taking orders, it's going to be so difficult to know where every single button is on the screen. So you might have to like tell a customer like, hey, you know, like, I'm sorry, give me a minute, I'm just still learning, and try to type it in as fast as you can. But you're going to have a screen in front of you with like a million buttons. You're not going to know where everything's at, and it's going to be okay. That is something that I don't think anybody really realizes that you have to learn, but you have to learn where every single thing is at, and you can either get it right away or it could take you a little while just because there's so many different options on the screen. Be patient with yourself. Realize that you're not going to go on the computer and know exactly where everything's at, so just try your hardest. After you learn where all the buttons are at, taking orders on drive-thru is pretty easy. If you're at the window on the drive-thru, all you have to do is like hand out your drinks, your food, make sure that you're handing out the right drinks, interacting with the customers. The last position, I guess, is like your support position. So basically you're going to be the person that gets everything that everybody needs and like is just there for everybody else. So the Starbucks dress code is like, I feel like a little different and varies on your store, because I personally have worked at 3 different stores by now, and I definitely see the difference in what people are allowed to wear at these different locations. Like some of them are very strict and they will call you out. Other stores, not so much. They'll be a little bit lenient with the dress code, but you can look up the Starbucks dress code. It's literally online for everybody to see. It'll show you like the colors that you can wear. It'll show you the patterns that you can wear, the types of like shirts, and then like how high your shirt has to be. I would say that if you're thinking about working at Starbucks, definitely go for it. First, it's gonna be kind of tough, but you just gotta hang in there, and I really enjoy it now. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I really hope that it was very helpful for you guys. And if you guys liked the video, make sure to like the video and subscribe.